Hey everyone, I just want to say first off, thank you to everyone who reaches out for the support, and just welcome to all of our new listeners. It's great to have you all. It's been fun to see this channel grow even more over the last several months and to see all of our new listeners. What I would just say, if you guys haven't, go check out, we have over 150 episodes, really literally the last year. Probably everybody that's been on our podcast is people from our course that have been able to break in. So these are real people that get real results. But I just wanted to just say welcome. So excited to have you all. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to Brandon and to Christian, both students that got hired this week through our course with top companies. So super proud of you guys. I just always want to plug those guys because we know how hard you guys and girls work inside our course, and to watch you guys get hired, it's everything. So congratulations to both of you. So super proud of you guys. And if you guys are really interested in breaking into medical device sales, please feel free to reach out. Again, we do this on a weekly basis. If you guys haven't, on our Instagram, you would have saw on Monday, we had a crazy day. We actually on Monday and Tuesday, within 24 hours, we had 3 job offers come in. We got VP final rounds booked that people are flying out to Connecticut. And then we also got somebody who got 3 interviews set up that day. So again, it's just been a fun time, really able to just shout about it from the rooftops. And then also I just want to put out there for all my reps that are out there that are listening, that listen to this and broke in, we do have the new exciting first year in. And I'm so excited because I just recorded our 2nd episode ever. And I can promise you, if you just take 10% of what I said, you guys will make so much more money and you'll progress so much faster in your career. Again, it's no different than what we do here. Give out free value to help you guys just crush it, because again, that's what we're here to do. So if you guys are to go check out first year in, right now we're just on podcast. We are going to be working on getting us on all socials, just like everything. But if you guys are a rep, I think, just so you know, I did just see, I thought it was just on Spotify. For some reason, it should be on every episode or every podcast platform. So if you're looking and you don't see it on Apple, it's on Spotify. I'm going to work on trying to get it on all platforms. But again, that's just to help you guys. Once you get into the industry, you guys are going to learn how I took the lowest performing territory in the nation to over top 10. But also, it's not just me. We're going to have other reps on there. We're going to have us share experience. We just did a fun guest that I can't to share with you guys next week on that one. And then also, just going over how to grow your territory, real life experiences that I went through, so you guys can see what it's like. And then also how to grow your territory, how we've had associate reps go from associates to full line reps in under 8 months and go making that 6 figures and get in that career and just progress. Again, just no different than what we talk about in the course here. All we do is save you time and money. Same exact thing in that process is, if we can teach you guys how to do your job better and then know what the next job you're going for, you know how to prep and prepare for it. That's how we get people hired. And so I just wanted to touch on that. But again, you guys, if you are wanting to reach out, feel free. LinkedIn, Jacob McLaughlin. Love connecting with you all. New to medical device sales on LinkedIn. Would love to always see you guys. We post about just helping you guys, posting content that's going to be helpful for you guys breaking into medical device sales. So make sure to just come give us a follow, because you're going to need a LinkedIn no matter what. Again, it's just Jacob McLaughlin on LinkedIn. And then again, if you guys are really interested in breaking in, you'll hear more, but just go back and listen to other episodes. We're just so proud of everybody in our group. And again, just this continued success we keep having. It's just so much fun. So today is going to be super helpful and give you guys a lot about knowledge about why companies hire, why you should be interested in this, and how it's going to actually help you and help you in the interview process, and how to prepare and get ready, and when is a good time to actually go after it. So I'm excited to bring you this episode. But I can't wait to talk to you all. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, at any of the platforms, TikTok, New to Medical Device Sales, Instagram, we got it all. So just again, reach out. If you got questions, you can go and check out our links in the description. But let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and so excited to be coming to you today, as always. But I will just be honest, it is hot. It is super hot. We just beat a record here in Phoenix, the most 110-degree days in a row. I think we are on officially, the old record was 18. We are now on official 20, I think. I think they're calling for 27 before it breaks or something like that. But I do what I do when I tell you guys I go out for my runs. Today I broke a record because I decided to go out when it was 114 degrees at 2 o'clock, because I was able to schedule my meetings around that. Got myself a quick little 40-minute window, so I was like, I'm gonna go run. And it was probably one of the dumbest ideas I've ever done, because not only does running at that heat get you, I was zapped afterwards, like had a shower. Oh my gosh, need to jump in the pool, but the pool's like a bathtub. And again, you guys are like, I don't care. This has nothing to do with medical device sales, but I figure I just let you into my life a little bit. But I would just tell you, don't run in 114 degrees because it not only makes you tired, it gives you a headache and you're just zapped. And probably not the safest, but I like to be crazy. I listen to Jordan Peterson or David Goggins while I'm out there running. And then we're ready to take on the world and everything seems easy after that. So that's a long little intro to welcome to medical device sales. Coming into you guys today with an episode that I'm making because I've had a lot of calls lately and I wanted to shed some light on hiring in medical device sales. And when I say hiring in medical device sales, I'm not saying I'm hiring you in medical device sales. I want to go behind why companies hire, what makes them hire, and certain time of the years that are different. So again, many of you don't understand Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, which if you guys don't know that, there's 12 months in a year, they break them into the 4 quarters, and so then they're gonna have 3 months in each quarter, right? And then now you're gonna be able to go and have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, which is going to be dependent on when they get approvals, when quotas get rolled out, when are they gonna add people. And so I wanted to go into that conversation today because it's something that comes up, and with us going at the end of Q2, there's a good reason why I'm going into this and why you guys should know about that, and just going into those conversations. But number one, when we're going into hiring, why is a company hiring? So the thing that I get told all the time is that people will be like, oh, this company hires really slow. This company hires really fast. What's going on with it? Now, when a company is going to hire, there's a lot of different things that come into play. And some of the things you need to think about is, are they hiring because somebody just left, right? Are they trying to fill a position? Or are they hiring because they've had so much growth, they just need somebody else to come in, so they're trying to fill that? Or are they filling it because they are just predicting and thinking they're gonna need someone in 6 months that it will ramp up, so they're gonna go through that? The reason I'm telling you is all 3 scenarios I just told you are gonna be 3 different hiring stages, and they're gonna be at 3 different times and paces, you know what I mean? So for example, if they had a busy place that somebody just quit or got promoted, right? And that's what you got to check is sometimes they get promoted, so now they're trying to fill that associate sales rep role, or somebody quit, they took another promotion somewhere else, right? That's going to be dependent on how fast they're trying to hire, because I hear this all the time, right? When that happens, usually they're trying to hire within 4 to 6 weeks. They're trying to go quick because they just got someone out. They need to put that someone in because now everyone on the team is picking it up. Compared to, I hear this with a lot of companies, there's like a certain one, I don't want to say their name, but like again, you guys will know if you go through the processes, they're known for taking a long time. And a lot of times that's because they don't need to hire someone. They're looking at adding a position, but they're okay, and it could take 12 to 24 weeks before they even make a decision. And that's just depending on why they're making the hire. So that's the number one thing, that when you guys are going through this interview process, you need to go and in that first or second interview, again, first is usually with HR or the manager nonchalantly, and then number 2, if you met with HR, then you'll meet with the manager for number 2. If you met with the manager on the first one, they might have you meet with HR, or you might just skip that all together, right? So there's always the different steps. Each company does it a little different, but the reason I'm saying that is when you guys are going through that process, you literally need to ask, hey, just so I can have a better understanding, when is your expectations of having this hire? When are you expected to have someone placed in this role? Because I just talked to someone today and I asked them that, they're in interview 2, and they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, you should have found this out first round. Because when we've had people that have gone through 3rd rounds and I asked that question, they don't know. How can you know if they're gonna get back to you in 2 days or in 2 months if you don't know the process? Because again, they might be in no hurry, or other people might be in a big hurry. So you need to understand why they're hiring. So when you're in that process, you can do that. Number 2, you can also ask, why is this position open, right? Because there's gonna be red flags if they're like, the person just quit, compared to, oh, the person got a promotion inside our company, or this person took a position or a promotion with outside our company, right? Always kind of getting the back end story, because you guys are so happy and so excited to get into the industry, but sometimes you need to ask a little more questions on, why is this open? Why are we doing this, right? Because, hey, they just quit. Well, why would someone, how long were they in the position? 8 months. Okay, why would someone who was just in for 8 months just quit? What would cause them to do that, right? And of course, the person who's hiring is always gonna be like, oh, they had something or whatever it is. But you kind of have to start asking things, because as you guys go through that process and you do this, there'll be red flags that come up and you're like, this doesn't really add up when I talk to multiple other reps or multiple other people and stuff like that. So that's just number one thing you need to think of is, why are they hiring? What is the timeline? Are they hiring because they lost someone, or they're about to add someone? Are they hiring someone because someone got promoted, or someone just left, right? And that's what you need to understand, what kind of the reasons are as you go through that process. It's okay to ask those questions. So many people are like, oh, I don't want to ask that because what if they get mad? Like, if they get mad at that and they kick you out, like, you just saved yourself a whole lot of work and a whole lot of stress, because that would have been a horrible job if they kicked you out for just asking about why you should go work at a company. So that's number one. Why are they hiring? And that, why would you want to go work there? All that stuff. But what's the real reason that hiring is coming in? Now, number two, you have to understand everybody has, like we talked about, the different processes, right? For example, a distributorship, which we've gone over. If you guys don't know what a distributorship is, go back, listen to our other episodes. But a distributorship, a lot of times they can do it in 1, 2, 3 interviews. They don't have to go through, because they are HR. They don't have to go through all the HR stuff, compared to you go through Medtronic or the Stryker, Johnson & Johnson, Zimmer Biomet, Smith & Nephew, Abbott, like all the big names, BD, right? We hear them all the time, Boston Scientific, like all these different names. They have HR. They have a lot of people there. You're not just talking to 1 or 2 people and getting hired. It is, okay, great. Now you go through the 5 to 7 interviews that are with panels, and you have to talk to this person this time, and they follow up, and you have to go through HR, and they have to screen you, and you might have to take a test at a certain company. And so again, there's just all these different steps, and each company is a little bit different. So you just have to understand, when you are getting hiring, what kind of the hiring process is like. And that's what I talk about with people who are interested in the course, and we talk about all the time. Most of the people where they struggle is you just don't know the process, and that's why you can't win the game. Because I say, if you've been trying for over 3 months and you haven't broken, it's just because you're doing stuff wrong. And that can be hard for people to hear, because they're like, no, I'm not, I'm getting interviews. What's this guy know? Well, if you haven't won an interview, let me just say this, our average person's hired in under 10 weeks, 9.8 weeks. So if you've been trying for 3 to 4 or 5 months and you still haven't got in, I can just tell you, it's not the medical device sales industry, which every loser always blames. Oh, it's the industry. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's difficult. No, it's because you haven't done your homework and you don't understand it. And if you don't do that, how can you win, right? And so I just say this all the time, because people will ask me, number one thing is, Jacob, what's the advice you would give me? What do you want me to do? And this has been an analogy I've been really discussing lately. So I play basketball. And so an easy way for me to explain it, if you guys play basketball, this will make sense. If you don't, you'll be like, what? He's talking Spanish. So just prepare yourself. But for example, when people ask me that question, it's like, hey, I can go tell you how we're going to do an in and out, through the legs, behind the back, fadeaway 3, right? But if you don't know how to dribble the ball, that doesn't make any sense to you, because I can tell you to do the in and out between the legs, behind the back, fadeaway 3. But if you don't know how to actually dribble the ball, you can't do any of that. That's the exact same question when you guys are like, I'm trying to break in, I'm going through, what advice can you give me for interview 4 or interview 5? You don't even know the game. You don't even know how to play the game. Let's bring it to baseball. You're trying to get all this different technique and all this game plan and how to do all these difficult pitches, and you don't even know how to swing the bat and catch the ball. That's gonna be pretty dang hard, right? And that's where I can just like bring some sarcasm into it and joke around with you guys. Is like, if you guys don't know the process and you don't understand it, that's all we do, it's how we get people hired so quickly. It's because we understand the process. There's no guessing. You just come in and do A, B, C, and you get the results. Compared to what you guys are doing, I had 4 calls just before this interview or before this podcast. Why I'm saying this is because every single one, yeah, I've been networking a lot, I'm just trying to figure it out. But then they ask me a question that we've answered a million times, and it's the most generic. Like, I just had somebody be like, yeah, so who'd you work for? You guys can imagine how I was like, good God, all right. It took 2 seconds to look at that on LinkedIn, and I let them know that, and I was very nice about it. But again, it goes back to when you guys do stuff like that, I know you're not even 6 to 12 months away from getting into the interview process. Because people tell me all this all the time, and I'll say it because I just said it to this person. People will call me and they'll be like, yeah, I've been trying for 6 or 7 months, and I'm doing pretty good. I got to a couple of 3rd round interviews. I'm like, no, that sucks. You've done this for 7 months and you never won. They're like, you didn't win. A 3rd round's not even, a lot of times it's not even halfway. So you've been trying for 7, 8, 9 months and you haven't even made it to the halfway mark. And then what people make the mistake of is they're going to try and how's the only way you guys learn? Because if you don't have a mentor, you don't have someone like our course and have people like me telling you, hey, you do A, B, C, you'll get the result because this is what they're looking for. You're going to try to figure out the only way was how I had to do it. Hence why we have the course. So you don't have to go through all the pain is going through 14 different interviews, and the only way I learn about the difference between 1 and 2 is by getting there and then failing, and then I have to go, and then maybe I get to 2 and then 3, and then failing, and then restarting, and doing that for 6 months, right? And again, you guys hear 6 months, oh, I'll get it in for 6 months. That was during COVID, guys, and I hope you guys, I always tell you, I want you to use me as motivation. If I can do it, you can do it, but I also have to just be fully transparent with you guys. We're not the same. You're not out there running at 114 degrees. Every day. You're not working at 7 p.m. on a Thursday night when you've been up since 4 a.m. and you just closed a pretty big deal and you're closed multiple deals and you've had several different meetings. And like, again, I love your guys' encouragement. I love your guys' enthusiasm. But again, just understand we're not the same. And that's never like to be like, I'm better than you. It's just like, let's wake up at 4 a.m. today together. And let's do a full day together. I'm okay with that because I already know the outcome. Because you might do it one day. You might do it 2 days. You're looking at someone who's done it for over 7 years. I'm just going to win. I'm not going to stop. So that's a little rant that has nothing to do with this. But the reason I am going on that thing is most people will be like, oh, Jacob did it, so I'm going to do it. We're not the same. You're not me. You're not willing to get rejected 3,000 times over 6 months. You're not willing to get told you suck and keep going and smile. You're not willing to be having people tell you how much, oh, what do you know? What do you do? You're a personal trainer. You have nothing to offer. And then keep going and keep encouraging other people while you do it, right? It's just, I hope you guys hear it. It's like most of you guys are trying to figure it out by yourself. And you're trying to, I know somebody. I just had this person. Oh, I know somebody. So I'm going to go do it out. Oh, great. How many people have that person? How many times has that person got someone else hired? They got themselves hired. Great. So they know how to get themselves hired. So let me make this the equivalent. We all know athletes that are God-gifted that can run a 4.4 and play in the NFL, and holy crap. But you know what they can't teach? How to run a 4.4 and be athletic as crap and like do everything. You can be gifted for yourself and not know how to coach or teach anybody. It happens all the time. Look at most professional athletes. Wonder why most professional athletes aren't coaches. Because they could do it, but they don't know how to teach it. And again, I'm not saying that they don't go to do it because they don't want to. They made so much money, they can do whatever they want. But you have to look at that because, again, I watched this on baseball. People talk about like the guy who hit some of the most home runs. He's like, I just saw the ball slower than everybody else. That's why I had more success. I can't teach that, right? The reason I'm saying that to you is I asked that guy and then I'm like, how long has your person been in the industry? And he's like 5 months. So you're going to take advice from somebody who just got themselves hired. And are they crushing it? I don't know. Oh, and that's who you're taking advice from? The reason I'm saying that to you guys is I've gotten over 1,000 people hired. I do this every single day. I cannot wait. We cannot disclose the information, even though I just did it a little bit, but I cannot wait to tell you what is happening this week because it just goes back into why we do what we do, how we help people, and how I can be a person who speaks to you about it because of something I just closed. And we'll talk about it in the future. But because of certain things right now, I cannot disclose all that information. And so the reason I'm just telling you guys that is who you have as a coach matters. Knowing the process and knowing what to do matters. Knowing somebody who knows how to be able to share it to you guys. Because for example, you know what everybody tells me? Oh my gosh, you're dating ones. When you say it to me, it makes me laugh, but it makes so much more sense, but I've never thought about it that way. It's because I've done this enough and we know how to help you guys. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's gonna be really hard to win the game. So I just wanna go on that. And now number 3, the whole reason I wanted to make this whole podcast was because of quarters. So if you guys don't know, every company is usually gonna run on different quarters. So for example, most companies, I will say this, is usually do like January to March is Q1, April, May, June, Q2, and then they'll go, or it changes, each one's a little different. But for example, I know companies like when I was with my old company, Q1 started in May. So it was May, June, and July. That was Q1. And then you go to Q2, right? That's why like you'll hear, oh, Q3 is usually the last 3 months of the year, right? But for some companies, it's not. So you have to understand, because why does that matter? Why am I telling you all of this stuff? You're like, I'm just trying to get hired. I don't care. Because if it is Q1, they are at the beginning of their year. But if they're at Q3, they're almost, and Q4, they're at the end of their year. What happens at every new year? Reevaluations. Do we reorg or do we grow? Do we fire people? Do we grow people? Did this territory do really well and we need to add more people to it, so we need to hire people? Or did this do really poorly, we have it overstaffed, and we need to let some people go? Why is that important? Because where do you think the middle checkpoint is? Q2. Q2 is now the companies have enough data where we've gone halfway through the year. What are they going to do? Why do we do sports and why do we have halftime? So we can see what the first half was like, we can make adjustments, and now we got to go execute so we can go win the game. Welcome to sports, welcome to sales. Hence why I'm telling you this is, guess what we just finished for most of the companies, and a couple companies are just about to do? Finishing Q2, halftime. Guess what's going to happen over the next couple months? We need to hire people because we are doing really good in these territories. So we need more associates, we need more coverage, we need more clinical specialists, we need more reps because we're doing really good. And if we want to hit this number, we need to add people right now. And so this is where you can have people where organizations will then go submit, and they're like, hey, you guys might be going through this right now, is, hey, we don't have the job right now, but it sounds like it's coming. We just submitted for the approval. Because now they're at the point where they're actually looking to hire because it's Q2. They're seeing that they have traction. They might be in a territory that's absolutely crushing it, or it needs some help and they're underperforming. So the only way they know that they can crush it is because they're doing it. They've got the feedback. They know they need to add somebody in this position that can go help and free up the rep so the rep can go sell more, right? Or this happens all the time. Somebody comes in, makes a massive sale in Q1 or Q2, and guess what? Now they're going to crush quota, but because they crushed it, guess what? They don't have enough staff to be up. So for example, I've seen this where people go make a jump with a hospital. It's number one hospital, and now they just brought $400,000 worth of revenue, or $700,000 or $1 million worth of revenue into their territory. But guess what? That means they just added $1 million worth of surgeries on, which means they need more supplies, they need more time, and there's more surgeries going on, which if you're just one person and you're trying to cover those accounts, you can't always do it. So guess what they have to do? They have to hire people who can go and hope. Sometimes they hire people just to be just at that account because it's so big and it does so much business. And if it's $1 million, guess what? That's $1 million they don't want to keep. So they can come hire an associate for under $200,000, all said and done. Again, let's just say they hire you at $50,000 or like $80,000. Let's make math easy. They put you in at $100,000, they pay for all your other stuff, and it comes out to $250,000. Well, guess what? They just profited after they pay out reps, they pay out everything. The company just profited over $500,000. It makes financial sense, a business decision to bring you in, right? That's what you guys always have to understand, is this is a business. Every time they're bringing people in, they're doing stuff, it is at the end of the line, are we making money, right? That is welcome to Medical Advice House. So the reason I wanted to make this whole podcast and tell you guys, we are now in that Q2 for most companies, and like the one that I used to work into, they're just finishing Q1, which they're about to go into Q2. So what do you think over the next 2 to 3 months will happen? You're going to start seeing job postings, because even though there was reorg some places, guess what? They're like, crap, we went too short on this one. We need to help grow this place right now. Okay, they're going to start adding. Now, the reason I'm telling you that, because what do you think happens in Q3? Do hires still happen? Yeah, every once in a while. But do you think somebody's, like if we get to the end of Q3, right? Do you think they're gonna hire as many people? No. Why? Because now we just have to wait 3 more months as a company to finish out the year. If you're already underperforming at Q3, the next 1 to 2 to 3 months probably is not gonna change your territory if you're already running at 68%, most likely, right? And so they're like, well, we're not gonna throw any more money into that. And vice versa, if you're crushing it, okay, maybe we have to hire people because you're really crushing it right now. But again, if you can just, hey, we're just gonna hold off for another 3 months. Yeah, it sucks, you might have to suffer a little bit, but what happens at the end of, sure, you're at Q3, get into Q4, what happens at the end of Q4? Oh, brand new year, brand new quotas, brand new budgets. Now you see the game. So that's what I'm just trying to give you guys more insight on, is why I'm even talking about this, why we have our course, why we do this, is guess what? Most people are like, oh, I'm gonna wait till a job's posted. And I say this all the time. I'm not gonna even throw a percentage out there because the percentage is just in my experience. I mean, it's just making up a number, but like, let me just say this. The majority of jobs that you see on medical device, on LinkedIn, on certain websites, I'll say that, and things that you see posted are majority of times already filled. And let me tell you why. Because I'm probably going to break the rules for you all and be like, what the heck? That can't be real. They have to, because of HR. HR has to post a job for at least 7 days and interview a certain amount of people so they don't do discrimination and they don't get sued. So The reason I'm telling you that, every one of you guys that are like, no, I'm still applying, I'm trying to do it. Guess what? You're wasting your time because for me, I say this all the time. My first job I got with that big company, guess what? Got the call 3 weeks before the job was ever posted. Got told I was the person they were going with. Now, they end up getting so many applicants, I still had to go through the 6-week process. But most of the time, because we get people that this happens for them, literally just did it Monday with Christian, one of our guys. He just got a job offer. We went and leveraged that job offer to another job offer, but those people were like, hey, we're gonna get you something in writing because you are our person, but we have not posted it yet. It has to sit on legally. We have to have it sit for 7 days, and we have to interview at least a certain amount of people, and then we can give you the job offer, but we can't give it to you before then, and we can't have you sign because legally we have to make sure we do that. So the reason I'm saying that to you guys is because a lot of these job postings that you see, a lot of times are already accounted for. So the reason I'm saying that is, why am I saying all this? Because again, it goes back to the course. If you know how to play the game, you know how to win the game. If you go back to the last podcast, you just saw Katie get hired in under 7.5 weeks. You saw her make a call to a regional manager on a Tuesday, go in a 4th round interview on a Wednesday, final interview on a Friday, and get a job for over 6 figures on a Monday. Why does that happen? How does it do it? Because we know the process, you understand it, and you know what to do throughout the process so you get the job. But again, if you just go from the job posting, guess what? That job's probably already accounted for. And guess what? I'm sitting here telling you, most likely over the next several months, there's going to be jobs opening. But guess what? If you're just sitting and waiting, could some of those jobs still be open when you see them posted? Yeah, they could be. But guess what? A lot of them are probably going to already be accounted for because somebody's been doing all the work. And they're like, hey, this is your job, but we just have to post it. And then guess what happens? You guys who don't know what you're doing, it's like, oh my God, I just got it this week 3 times. Oh my gosh, my dream job came open in my territory, in my area that I want more than anything, and I'm gonna apply. I need to call the manager, I got a call. Every single time, I got a call within 3 weeks. Sorry, usually it's about a week. They took the job posting down. Yeah, because it was already accounted for. So the reason I'm just telling you guys, why did I just go into the details about the quarters? Why do you guys care about the quarters? Because the quarter is going to line up with why they're hiring. Because again, it's what we talk about. What happens in the new year? Usually you're going to see if Q1 is January, February, March, now you know why a lot of companies hire them. But the one thing I do have to say is, guess what usually happens in medical device sales? If Q1 is, let's just say January for fun. If I'm a rep, this happens to all of us reps. If I'm a rep and Q1 is January, February, March, guess what? I'm usually getting my quota so I know how much money I need to make for the year so I can hit my quota. A lot of times it's not till February or early March. Well, Jacob, how do you know what to do for all of January if you don't know your quota? Yep. The reason I'm giving so much sarcasm is it's the same thing with these things. A lot of times companies, they might have their budget ready to go and can start hiring people from January, but usually they won't even know what budget they have until February or early March, and that's when they'll start posting all the jobs and get you hired at the end of Q1, mid Q1 to going into Q2. But that's from their budget from the first year. And then, okay, now we're already halfway through Q1, but this is the challenging part. You'll learn this, and this is why we go into depth and why we have our other podcast first year in, so you guys can learn all these tricks once you guys are in the industry. But again, it's, what do you do in that time? Should you go crush it in the first couple of months? Well, what if that hurts you for your quarter, right? There's all these things that come into it. So again, I wanted to make this podcast because I wanted to go in detail what goes into hiring, when should you go break in. But the reason I just say that is I want you guys to know so you can be educated, so you can go get the job. If you guys are interested in breaking into medical device sales, our average person breaks in under 10 weeks at 9.8 weeks at 91K. The last 5 people we got hired, all got hired in under 8 weeks at over 100K. So we're very proud about that. And also we just got 2 more people hired this last week. So to us, congratulations to Christian and Brandon. Super proud of you guys. And again, if you haven't, press that like and subscribe button. If you are listening on the podcast, a 5-star review helps us grow this channel. If you guys are really interested in breaking into medical device sales, link is in the description about the course. Reach out. We don't take everyone. We only take 5 people a month right now. And we go through the process. Go click on the link. It will tell you everything you need to know, so I don't even have to waste your time here. But if you're really serious, we know we can get you hired if we take you. And yes, so thankful that you guys listen to us. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next one.